Finally this evening, we have a bantam legend whose 41-year career and nearly 50-year association with Trinity have been the cornerstone of our women's athletics program. Please join me in celebrating Robin Sheppard.
Being honored as a coach in the sports of field hockey, women's basketball, and women's lacrosse, and as an athletic administrator, Robin L. Sheppard.
I think with Robin, it was preordained that she was going to be successful at anything she did. She happened to be an athlete coming through high school and college in the 70s, and things were really changing for women in sports, obviously Title IX. And I think the opportunity at Trinity, all things happening at the right time, at the right place, and the right people bringing her in, gave her the platform for incredible success. When she was offered the position of coaching 3 varsity sports in 1974, Robin was off to the races. Robin's kind of ageless. She's got great magnetism and charisma. She can relate to all ages. She is all in when she's talking to people. It's a rare gift she has. And she has a phrase around this: whether you're an All-American or coming off the bench, I value you. What defined Robin in her coaching was the holistic way in which she approached the sports, the liberal arts education. She highly respected the fact that we were in school and we were student athletes. There is no record like hers in female sports, women's sports, or in sports at Trinity. And yet it is all with this huge underpinning of humility. Robin Sheppard is Trinity Athletics.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robin L. Sheppard.
Thank you, Betsy. Your comments were as special as you are. Congratulations to all our new Hall of Fame class of 2022. It's been wonderful seeing you all tonight. And because I was supposed to be here last year, I appreciate you letting me crash your party. Thank you to Drew for hosting this event. We're so sorry Joanne couldn't be here, but I hope she's feeling better. And even though I retired prior to Drew and Joanne arriving on our campus, I have been called off the bench a couple times to work on a couple initiatives, and I just appreciate being included as a small part of your Trinity team. And others who have been already thanked, but the Hall of Fame committee for sure, videographer John Holt, who does an awesome job, and the incredible work of Lindsay Micah, who's kept us all on task through many emails. To be inducted into the Trinity Hall of Fame is a huge honor, and I'm speechless. Not really. I'm not really speechless ever. So my biggest challenge will be fitting 41 years of gratitude into, well, before they play the music and get the hook to take me off. For those of you who know my backstory, and many of you do, let's be honest. Trinity took a major gamble hiring me in 1974. Fresh out of college, a physical education major, they hired me to be the head coach of field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse, and I had 0 coaching experience and got cut from basketball in 9th grade. I would also be able to live in a dorm, teach classes during the day, take graduate classes at night, and my salary was going to be $94.96 a month. That's a win-win in my book. So at the fearless age of 22, I drove my Ford Pinto from my hometown in South Jersey, and I arrived on Trinity's beautiful campus. I had my Trenton State PE blazer on with my patch, my lanyard, my whistle, and I was ready to be a bantam. Within Ferris, there was a sea of supportive male coaches, but Jane Millspaugh, who many of you remember, she was my sole female mentor. Jane was hired in 1971 2 years after we accepted women, and she quite literally created the women's programs from scratch. Although there was another woman in the department that made a daily difference in my life and in the lives of many of the early female athletes. A shout out to our equipment manager, B. Ruby. We could not have accomplished what we did unless she pinned our socks to our t-shirt every single day. If you lost that pin, it cost you 25 cents. As I look back, it seems that the guiding principle to establish the women's sports program was the exact opposite of the Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner: build it and they will come. Our motto was, they're already here, let's figure out what they want to play. Under the leadership of Athletic Director Carl Kurth, it was obvious to me that he and other male colleagues at Trinity wanted sports to not only take hold, but to thrive. I could not have survived coaching basketball without my trusty assistant, philosophy professor Drew Highland. Coach Don Miller gave up his freshman football field so that my field hockey team had a practice and a game facility. Basketball coach Roby Schultz and I shared the Houston gym at the same time, prime time, 4 to 6. And our dear friend, Chet McPhee, donated his old lacrosse jerseys that they were going to throw away to those early lacrosse teams so they had a uniform. I know it's hard to fathom that we got excited about those things, but we were being acknowledged as Trinity Bantam athletes, and we were getting to play the sports we loved. We had other super fans that were critical to not only the growth of women's sports, but the immediate success of women's sports, particularly when it came to recruiting. Then Director of Admissions, Howie Muir, would call me during the day and say, "Robin, I'm interviewing a stud. Would you like to meet her? I'll send her down." And she was a stud. Jerry Hansen, where's Jerry? Jerry Hansen, he would call me about the incredible talent in the Philadelphia area. You already met Kat and Lindsay. And guess what? He already knew their families. And guess what? They were coming up next week, and they wanted to meet me. Benny Williams and Jim Witters did the exact same thing in the Boston area. So between those folks as my recruiters and the women who wrote, the high school athletes who wrote handwritten letters on real life stationery asking me about the program and telling me they wanted to look at Trinity, and me mimeographing copies of flyers and hanging them all through the dorms, inviting, encouraging, begging women to come try out for our teams. That was pretty much my recruiting strategy, and somehow it worked. My coaching philosophy was going to be pretty simple in the beginning. Remember, I had zero experience. So I thought, well, I'm going to imitate the things that my coaches did that I liked, and I'm going to not include anything I didn't like. I am still scarred from a high school field hockey game where my coach, Miss Morgan, yelled in front of my teammates, friends, and family, "Get the lead out, Sheppard." And the most embarrassing part of that is I was running as fast as I could. So with never embarrass my players as a starting point, my coaching philosophy matured, as I hope I did. I truly believed, as most coaches do, that each one of my players, the starters, the non-starters, and boy, those kids who never got off the bench, that they just wanted to contribute to the program in any way they could. And they wanted to be valued for those efforts. And they wanted to know that I cared. I honestly tried to do that at every practice, in every drill, in every pre- and post-game speech, and we pulled out all stops at our banquet. If I accomplished those things over my years, then I would consider that my most cherished victory. To all my field hockey, lacrosse, and there's a couple basketball women in here tonight, I want to thank you for being such kick-ass, multi-sport, talented women, for your patience as you and I traveled our journey together, and for your loyalty to me and to Trinity. Any relevance that I have been giving over my career is really a testament to you, because without you, I'm just a raspy voice on the sideline. I thank you for giving Trinity Sports a tradition of memories and success that will never, ever be forgotten. Please know that when our current athletes walk into competition, they carry your legacy of fun, fight, and passion into every contest. I would really like it if those field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse women could stand so we could thank you. To my colleague, Rick Hazelton, you were my partner in crime, and you have remained my friend over time, and I thank you. To the folks sitting at my table tonight, I'm not sure what you call somebody when you're both in your 70s, but my boyfriend, John, my smarter-than-me sister, Susan, my venture buddy, Sue, my coaching pal, Mike, and his wife, Carol, and the Fab Four, who got to sit at the grown-ups table tonight. Betsy, Ginny, Spitty, and Parks. Thank you, guys. Lastly, I'd be remiss if I just didn't remind you how much I loved this job. Scott already mentioned this earlier, but out on those fields, being caught in the light as the sun set over the long walk was a gift every single night. And if the carillon bells rang, it didn't matter what drill we were in, everything came to a halt. Even my whistle was silenced. It was awesome. In my 40 years on campus, I learned numerous lessons, but it wasn't until I retired that I learned my most valuable lesson. And all the alums in this room already know it. You can leave Trinity, but Trinity will never leave you. Thank you.